Hello and welcome to Beer Union's first video beer review. Today we'll be reviewing a beer from Edinburgh's longest established non-continuously operated brewery, Barney's Beer. Today we'll be reviewing their just launched Cool Beans IPA made with faba beans. This is a 4.5% IPA. So, nice sessionable ABV. Let's check out the flavour. So straight away you've got some really crisp, clean beer. Nice clarity, lovely kind of orangey hue colour. Nice tight white head, probably doesn't come up that well on the camera. Nice resinous, grassy hop notes on the nose. No hint of faba bean yet. That's a damn fine IPA. So you've got the lovely kind of balance between the malt base and the hoppiness. A little bit of hoppy finish on the back, but it's a nice, pleasant, lingering bitterness, not overpowering. There's no big citrus notes in this particular beer due to the hops used. It's a little bit more your classic kind of bitter flavour. Mouthfeel is, it's light but without being watery. It's got a really nice body to it. Yeah, so the Cool Beans. Cool Beans is actually the fourth beer to come out in 5 years that Barney has made with faba beans. There was Fee-Fi-Fo, the Tundra IPA, which Beer Union have. If you go back through our archive on Facebook, we've done a written review of that beer, and the Jack IPA. So the Tundra and this differ slightly in the flavour profile. The Tundra actually you could get up hints of the bean flavour through that beer, while this one it's much more crisper and clean. So compared to the Tundra, this one's a lot cleaner. There's less of that slight beanie note that you were getting. I think this is a much more finished product, which makes sense. You know, it's been 5 years this collaboration between Barney, the Hutton Institute, and Abertay University have been going on. So why use faba bean instead of just your normal barley, maybe some wheat and oats that you'd put in a normal mash bill? Well, traditionally, you used whatever you had available to you. These days, it's more common to use just barley, maybe a bit of rice if you want to be on the cheap, or you want a lighter beer. A lot of the light beers use a rice or maize. You obviously get your wheats and your oats beers, but there's no reason you can't use beans. You can still get fermentable sugars from them. So, why the faba bean? Because faba beans are magic. Faba beans actually have a really cool property where they produce nitrogen fixing. While they're growing, they actually produce their own nitrogen, which essentially acts as a fertilizer, so it eliminates the need to use a synthetic fertilizer, which means it's much more sustainable and better for the environment. So that's part of the reason why faba bean is in Cool Beans. It's about growing a sustainable product. And they don't just fertilize the actual plant themselves, they also help to improve the fertility of the soil in which they're grown, allowing for better growing conditions for future crops as you rotate your fields. So this project is essentially aimed at helping to reduce the amount of synthetic fertilizers. I will be putting links down below to a couple of articles based around this study. Check them out, as well as links to Barney's Brewery, so you can see their take on this beer and all the other lovely brews they do. So one of the things that makes this different to the previous batches of the faba bean beer, first of all, it's a 40% to 60% barley in the mash bill, but the beans this time were treated differently. This time they were cooked prior to being put into the brew, which helped to mitigate the limited biochemical reaction that you get for producing sugars to starch in the faba bean. When the previous ones, they've had issues with that, and it's not produced enough fermentable sugars. So this time, through hard work and some experimentation and some science, they've decided that by cooking the beans prior to putting them into the malt bill, it's provided a much better sweet wort for fermentation, and they've got much more of the sugar and allowed the beer to ferment correctly. Now, because so much of the bill is bean based, this is Barney's first official gluten-free beer. The previous Jack IPA was gluten-free, but it was never certified tested, just tested within the brewery. This one has been. So great for celiacs or those who are gluten intolerant, but it is absolutely banging for those who aren't. Cool, so sum up, it's a great beer, it's a great bit of science. I really recommend you check out the links down below. Hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, like, share, subscribe. Got links to our social media stuff down below, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. And if you've liked it, let me know what you liked. If you didn't, then also let me know what we can improve upon. This is our first video, so always room for improvement. And if there's any breweries you'd really like us to do some reviews on, then hit me up with not just the brewery, but where I can get hold of their beer if it's not one I'm familiar with. Do have upcoming video that will be released mid-February on the Tiny Rebel, the 7 beers for their birthday pack. Can't wait for that to arrive, but they don't ship till around Valentine's Day. So look out for that coming, as well as reviews from many other Scottish brewers who we work with. Enjoy this beer, enjoy it responsibly.